On May 27, 2010, the Huntsville Fire and Rescue Service and Local 1833 of the International Association of Firefighters hosted the Fire Ops 101 program at the Alabama State Fire College in Tuscaloosa. This was a unique public education event that gave participants the opportunity to experience firsthand some of the challenges that firefighters face on a regular basis.
We can talk about being firefighters all day, and you can look at it, think you know what's going on, but till you actually get the gear on, go through the different exercises that we do to have to become firefighters, and then go through actual portions of the job itself, then you can't really appreciate what the job's all about.
3 participants took part in the program, including Huntsville City Councilman Will Culver, Huntsville Chief City Administrator Rex Reynolds, and Jeanie Powell, reporter for Huntsville's WAFF 48 TV News. They had a brief orientation and then were led into the engine room where they had their vital signs checked. Next, the participants were run through an abbreviated version of the candidate's Physical Abilities Test, or CPAT. This physical fitness test is given to all firefighter candidates.
Well, we took them through the CPAT course, and that's just a candidate's physical ability test. It lets you see just how well you have to be in shape to become a firefighter. It taxes your body all over, leg strength, upper body strength, and it just wears you out. So you've got to be in excellent shape to get to that point, or if not, you can't go any further in the process to become a firefighter. We also have worked on dragging a dummy. It's about 165 pounds of weight. This is during the CPAT exercise. You've already done several other events, and to drag that with all this gear on, it's extremely hard to do that. We showed them how to work with a pike pole, and that's nothing but a long pole, extension pole, that you pull ceiling tile down with.
I think it was pretty neat for them. The event normally requires them to carry 75 pounds, but we only put 50 on them. They only went through a small portion of the actual test, and they've all told me that it was quite strenuous and they don't think that they could make the whole test. So I watched them on the Stairmaster. You could see the difficulty that they were having after about halfway through, and they were only on it for a minute where we do it for 3 in the test.
It was tough. I tell you, I'm out here in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, and yes, it's hot, but there's a lot of hot scenes too, and I can imagine coming out of that gear and adrenaline flowing and knowing there might be people inside of a building. It's got to be tough.
Well, we did the stairs, we did the ladder pool, the dummy pool, and the assimilated roof raising. I had no idea that firepersons had to do this much strenuous work. After going through the parts I've gone through, I certainly have a renewed respect for firepersons.
Hitting with the sledgehammer was difficult, pulling the body was difficult, and then doing the pike thing, you know, the pike pole, that was really difficult too. And I can tell you flat out I wouldn't have passed the real test.
We are driving home the point about this is what we do, this is how we do it, and we have to be in shape and be able to do some of the things we do, because the fire can creep up on you and get you and not even realize it.
Protective equipment was then issued. This included firefighting turnout gear, boots, gloves, and helmets. After making sure that all of the protective gear fit properly, the participants were provided a short training course on the use of the self-contained breathing apparatus, or SCBA, which they would need for some of the upcoming exercises.
The gear is heavy. It's like walking around with a person on your shoulders, but after a while you kind of get used to it and it's not so bad.
We had to put on our turnout gear, which is difficult in itself. I mean, the fire would have destroyed the entire neighborhood by the time, you know, I got there and suited up and everything.
The participants then reported to the fire simulator, a structure designed to simulate the interior of a building that is on fire. Heat was provided by natural gas burners, and non-toxic smoke was generated to reduce the visibility inside the building.
We've taken them through the fire simulator, which is probably as close to, as they can get to the actual thing. It's got a lot of heat in there. Everything simulated smoke, I will say, not the real smoke, but as close as we can make it and let them see what we do on our jobs daily.
There you go. Woo. Wow. That was interesting. That was truly interesting.
Oh, I'm glad it's over though. Well, the firehouse was really interesting. I realized that the fire hose is your lifeline in and your lifeline out. It was a little scary. We were able to extinguish the fire that was shooting across the roof and around the stove area, and then after that we just kind of worked our way back out. But it was very good, and I was just happy to have an opportunity to experience vicariously what fire persons go through on a regular basis. And to me, it certainly underscores the need for them to have all of the necessary equipment they need.
And the more we stayed in, the hotter it got. And it got up to about 600 degrees in there. And I tell you what, I was cooking. I can't imagine being hotter than that.
We went inside and we followed the hose, and then we got to the end of it and we started seeing the flames disperse, and they got higher and higher and started collecting on the ceiling, and then we had to pull the hose back and spray the water, which was my favorite part. But it was very difficult because you have to crawl in there, it's hot.
You learn right quick when you grab that line going in. I kept it between my legs the whole time I was spraying the fire down, so I knew I had a way back out of there. But it was amazing, and boy, when it starts rolling over your head, it kind of was an eerie thought. I don't see how any fire department could extinguish fires of that nature without having proper gear. To me, it's a no-brainer. It's an obligatory requirement.
Next, they took part in an exercise designed to resemble a fire involving a tanker truck or a railroad tank car with flames shooting 20 feet in the air, accompanied by a roar of propane escaping under pressure. This exercise required the hose team to work together, protecting each other as they advanced toward the burning tank.
That was incredible. I could not even comprehend how someone could approach a burning propane tank and turn the valve off. But we did it. We created a wall with the water. It helped to keep us cool, and we were able to approach it and actually turn it off. So that was just an incredible experience. Luckily, with the spray there, you can feel some of that water on you, and I'm sure that's the attack plan there is to keep a little of that water on us too. And
here today, the deputy mayor, I'm really excited about him coming down here. He got a good idea of all this expensive equipment that we talk about, and we had him use some of that stuff, and he can see the difference that it makes and what we go through, why our turnout gear is so important and it has to be replaced. And then one of the finance committee members of the city council was down here. I heard them talk about we're going to have to get these guys the money they need. So that's what this training was about. It was to educate them on what we really do for our job. I'm really excited about the fact that all three of the candidates did such a tremendous job of going through this. They kept a good attitude with them. I think they're walking away with a whole lot of knowledge that they did not suspect from what we do exactly all in our job.
The benefit of it is to let our elected officials just see what we really do on the job, and it lets them see how important it is for us to have the training that we need, for us to have the equipment that we need. We just cannot do it without it and protect our lives while we do our job. So giving them the hands-on experience lets them see what we need on our daily jobs, and we hope as we talk each year about our budget that it gives them a better perspective of what they're that they're voting on, whether or not they should purchase it for us. And I think today they've had a good taste of that, and they've been good to us in the past, but I think it'll open their eyes even a little further on what we need to make our firefighters as safe as they possibly can.
Coming down first off to the Fire Ops 101, I knew I was going to be going with a good group, so I knew I'd be in good hands. I was just worried about me maybe passing out because I'm a little out of shape right now, but I knew I was in good hands. But I didn't know exactly what I was getting into. It was definitely intense. It was a really good workout. When you're reporting, you're a little farther back. I mean, you might be close to the fire as much as you can be, but I didn't even grasp the whole concept of what they do. I only get this much of it. And we go to so many fires I have in my career, and it's amazing. I mean, how selfless they are and what goes into doing their job every single day.
Great day. It was a heck of an experience. I tell you, all that stuff on there, and we three have had help today. I can imagine being responsible for getting all that gear on myself, getting off that truck, and have the responsibility to deal with the truck too, and then still got a fire to fight, so pretty awesome.
I just want to say how grateful I am to the Huntsville firefighters and the association and the city for letting us go through something like this, and these men and women supported us, and we felt protected, but you know, they protect us every day, and these truly are Huntsville's finest.
I wish that every person who has a nexus with the fire department's budget would come down and go through this training, and they will see that the equipment is just an obligatory priority. And every fire department should have everything that they need in case they encounter a situation like this. It's certainly not something that I would want to do on a daily basis, but I certainly applaud them, and my hat's off to all of the men and women that do this on a daily basis.
The Fire Ops 101 program could not have been the success it was without the leadership of Huntsville Fire Chief Mike Sublett, the help and support of the Huntsville Fire and Rescue, and the generosity of the Alabama State Fire College, who allowed their wonderful training facility to be used to give civilians a taste of life in the fire service.